welcome, friends. OG Murphy here with you. We are getting ready to run some Pathfinder 2nd Edition. It's a homebrew setting, a little bit homebrew rules. We are, coming to like a culmination moment. We got to play her out, so we got some moving parts. Housekeeping is everybody's not really on their best behavior, so nobody ever intends to offend anyone, and hopefully none of that is taken. With that, we're going to start with the section we call Thoughts and Feelings, which is kind of in place of your traditional recap. I asked the players how their characters feel about where they're at right now. It helps them get into character, and then obviously gives me a little bit of insight as to what's going on in their little minds. So without further ado, here we go. Let's get to it.
That's my favorite part.
All right, I'm live. Hey guys, let's do some thoughts and feelings. Let's see how our characters are feeling right now. This should be a big one because you guys are breathing fresh air for the first time. You've been, in the Great Below for who knows how long, and have now broken free in these ruins that some of you have been in before. That's Reed to start. I know you weren't here last week, bud, but generally speaking, how's Reed feeling?
I can see. I can fight. There you go. You got it.
There you go. There's actually daylight. Yeah, and it's midday, despite the fact that you guys are fatigued and have been traveling through the night. You completely lost track of your daylight, your day-night cycle, and so you're emerging here midday, where you can in fact see. Who is your victim, good sir?
Give me a task.
A task.
Yeah, Tesk is also happy, very happy to be back at the top. He's definitely concerned about what we've just started, and
I'm glad someone
he's
is.
kind of also
Yeah.
he's kind of also thankful that Irrigan is basically destroyed, because otherwise we've just brought a kobold army directly to Irrigan, and they would get absolutely destroyed. So he's a little relieved for that, but that was also dragons, and also maybe a little bit our fault too. So I don't know. It all washes out. But yeah, I guess that's kind of where he would be right now. He's very relieved at the moment to have gotten to the surface and to realize, okay, I know where I am. We're not halfway across the world, somewhere I haven't been before. So there's kind of a relief in that. But yeah, definitely concerned about what might be coming in, an hour's, 3-4 hours time. I guess.
Yeah, that's fair. And in all fairness, you are in fact halfway around the world, just somewhere that you've been before.
Yeah, and I think that's also a relief in general, because we know where, or at least some of us know exactly where we are, and we know how to get out. We know, where we need to go.
Right. Your victim, good sire.
Soda.
Tell us about Kythar.
Gaithar is so happy he can see more than 10 feet in front of him.
Yep.
But also now, there's a blinding sun in the sky that he hasn't seen for maybe months, maybe years. It's not looking great at tracking time. So he immediately face plants his face into the mud. One, because it helps push out the light.
Yep.
And two, he's not an idiot he might be being tracked, so he covers himself in mud to possibly get rid of his scent,
Cool.
take away some tracks, and start thinking of what way we need to go.
Cool. I do love that. And Muddy Kythar points to the next member of his party.
Chris.
That's Rowan.
All right, so Rowan, when he comes up to the surface, it's kind of like those cartoons when they, take some type of drug for the first time, where their pupils, dilate, and he just sees all the green and plant life around him, and he's just completely forgets about everything that's going on. He is just basically in, I want to go touch, feel, smell, eat all the greenery around me. He's very ecstatic that they're finally back on the surface.
Oh man, I do love that. I love that for Rowan. Excited to see how he moves through the session here. Your choice, sir, may be made for you.
Let's go with Simone.
Oh my god, I'm not doing Simone's thoughts and feelings.
You can do your own thoughts and feelings then. How's
That I
Galfast
didn't
doing?
prepare for.
Yeah, how's Galfast doing?
Galfast probably has equal parts relief and paranoia. I feel like he's relieved to be finally on the surface, obviously like everyone else. The sun is very bright. He's also a little paranoid. He knows he made some enemies down there, and we're a few miles ahead, but that doesn't necessarily mean too much. So I feel like, the whole event took an emotional toll on him. He doesn't know if he was gone for 6 days or 6 months. So, yeah, he's concerned.
I will say this, that on that note, as you all step through this threshold, from this crumbling stone face of this kind of outbuilding of these loosely walled kind of islands of stone buildings in this lagoon. As you do, Rowan, you have this shield which is tied to the seasons, and Rowan probably has this internal calculated, time counter tied to it. I don't know if he's too overwhelmed or not. That's your choice. But as you make your way in, it was just starting to turn the yellows of early summer, with many green leaves still in the shield when you were yesterday, essentially, right? As you pass through the threshold, instantly a bunch of the leaves change color, and this thing is now solid yellow, high summer, solstice time, indicating a couple additional weeks basically, than it was showing yesterday. So I don't know if he's too overwhelmed or not, but that change physically happens on his shield. Kythar's down, rolling around in this mud here, and on your knees, Kythar, you get this smell of copper. You know what I mean? That very I don't know if it's basic or acidic, whatever the pH tie to that is. Fills your nostrils as you're down near this water, which is filled with this red algae that you have seen little pockets and pools of before here, but never this dense, as it is completely flooding and covering all of the tops of these surfaces here. It is approximately midday. You guys are all incredibly fatigued as you've been pushing through. You pretended to rest for half of the night and then teleported and basically hurried up walked, kind of quick marched to get yourselves to this point. As you break out, a few of you recognize this place, a few of you don't. But you're all standing here with these wooden platforms connecting these, old stone buildings that are all overgrown with moss. Some of you remember the battles that you fought with kobolds here. The tower, which had the large ballista, is still in place, across from the main courtyard. And you guys are kind of tucked back against one of the side walls here. As you guys all pop out, there's a damp fog which is hanging over all of this, so it's midday, but that light's being diffused through all of these fogs, and it's a little bit painful on the eyes as you guys all adjust. But you're here, in a somewhat familiar place, at least in a familiar plane. What would you guys like to do at this point? How are you guys kind of moving through your space as you're emerging through this cave?
I feel like Simone would stumble out, and he has those big glasses on. And I don't know if you've ever seen Trailer Park Boys, but you know how Bubbles, his eye zooms in and his pupils are all dilated because he has coat tan. I feel like that's what Simone looks like, and he's gonna stumble out, and he's gonna dip down to drink. He's gonna dip down to drink some of the water, and you said there's like blood in it, or have we seen that yet?
No, it's not. It's not blood. It's this like red algae, and yeah, it's everywhere. It's impossible to miss. I don't know if you remember, Monzo actually like collected a little bit of it at one point, and like had a little vial of it before he passed. Rest in peace. This is that same stuff.
Yeah, our dear departed. Okay, so Simone's gonna like drop down and like drink some water, and then taste the algae and immediately spit it out.
Yeah, absolutely. And his mouth, does fill with that like blood consistency, basically. But there's also like this pulsating like magical element to it as well. And let me see here. He immediately spits it out, so I think that he's okay. But there's definitely like a flash of something, almost like a flashback. Like he remembers the like violence that happened here, and like his mind is like overwhelmed with thoughts of like fighting and killing kobolds in this place, and then he kind of spits the water out.
This place reminds me of some putos we fought.
But it's so pretty.
We've been here before.
No, definitely bad putos.
Oh yeah, this is where that dragon came and destroyed the city. I mean, the city's just my point direction of here again. Just over there, at least the ruins are.
I mean, where that guy literally melted people in front of us.
Yeah, exactly there.
And then as a reminder, in Dave's D&D maps and things, if you guys scroll up to the top, the second one of those is the kind of region map for where you are right now.
Pythar, knowing what they just ran from, getting out of the mud and everything, he looks at the group, is like, well, get rid of your sets. Come on, jump in.
Reed jumps in.
Yeah, and immediately sinks up to his like mid-thigh in this mud, and starts slathering the rest of it all over him.
Yeah.
Rowan, I know. Rowan?
Yeah.
Come on.
Rowan's going to kind of look at them kind of weird, and then he's going to look around him and do a nature check to see if there's any like flowers or herbs that are very fragrant.
Okay. Yeah, absolutely. That's a... we still have survival? Do you have a nature? Whichever one of those is higher.
Let's do nature. Is that going to be blind?
No, I mean, you're looking for stuff that's either there or not, I feel like. Just go ahead and roll it. Yeah, cool, man. I fucking love that. This place is super overgrown, so it's one of those, like, kind of take-your-pick opportunities where there are some, like, leaves growing on vines over some of these buildings that, when crushed, release this, like pungent, almost like spice, and then you can like see other like bugs, kind of like buzzing around that, and there's like a slug kind of like making its way by that. That if you like squeeze that, it's got like almost like a sharp kind of like cheddar smell to it, and there are like little like reeds growing everywhere that he knows that it's not that like you can like walrus stick up your nose and like the reeds themselves smell good, you know what I mean? So it like kind of filters scents as they come through.
Okay, so yeah, he's gonna just collect what he knows is gonna smell good, and then kind of grind it in his hands and start wiping it on his body. And he's just gonna say, "Well, we don't have to go the mud route. You can smell pretty anyway."
Love that.
Simone and Galfast will line up behind Rowan.
So Kythar and Reed are sitting there covered in fucking mud.
And Rowan will see them there, and he'll start, rubbing them and applying the
poultice
perfume to them.
Yeah, bud guts and stems.
Would Kythar know if they're just basically putting on perfume or whatever changed their scent?
I would say that that Galfast, or not, excuse me, not Galfast. Rowan seems particularly confident in this. I don't know. Are you trained in survival?
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I mean, then I'd say that you just know that like this is definitely a different route. You know what I mean? But like they're still going to be tracked by this scent, but this scent doesn't relate to them as humans. And you know what I mean? It's like it'd be kind of like making yourself smell like a local deer or something. You know?
I'm just looking at Reed. It's like, we can just drag him in here, right?
Wait, say that again? I didn't hear that.
So,
We can just what?
We can just drag him into the mud.
No, man. If they want to smell like roses, let them smell like roses.
All right, but if we start getting tracked because if they are looking for freaking women, I'm putting him in the mud.
You said there's women?
Damn it. See what you did?
Like, do my, pull my hair back.
Just point, point him right at him.
Yeah,
Yeah,
Well,
yeah, and on that note of pulling that tough back, as you guys are looking at each other in the light for the first time, you're all completely filthy. Nobody's taken a bath in the entire time you've been down there. Covered in bloods, ton of combat. Like, some of you got, like, thrown up on. You know what I mean? It's like, there's just, like, crazy. You guys are disgusting looking.
Hey, what are you
right
talking
now.
about? I washed off. I'm just covered in mud now.
That's true. That's true.
yeah, man. I'm also clean. I don't
And they
smell like
have
shit
that-
and daisies.
And they have that red shit on them, don't they?
Yeah, you guys definitely have, like, little bits of that. And, like, like roots from different grasses and, like, bits of fucking, like, leaves and stuff stuck to you as well.
Right.
Love it. Love it.
Wow.
We
You
should
guys-
probably get the fuck out of here now.
You guys look the best that you ever have.
Thank you.
And you still smell like shit.
Rowan says otherwise.
Rowan.
He said I smelled nice.
No.
We all smell nice now. We smell like the forest or the swamp.
Do we smell nice? And I point to me and Karthar.
Yeah, you smell like the water, which is part of the swamp as well. It's all beautiful.
See, Galfast, he thinks we smell nice.
Galfast has turned around and he's looking at the entrance, the exit that we exited from.
Yep.
Does it look like? Could we collapse it? Would there be any way to collapse it? I'm happy to roll.
One of us has a giant hammer.
Yeah, I mean, I will say that, that you have done this, you have been, like, looking around at different, like, possible points to collapse it as you've been going through. So I'm just going to carry that kind of thought process through and say that, like, absolutely you could collapse this from this end. You still have that, like, little bit of gunpowder. It's like, that it's going to take a few of you to get it done if you're going to just use, like, mundane tools and stuff, but there are a few people around, like you as the dwarf who knows what you're doing would have to lead them, but like possible, absolutely. Quickly, quietly, you know what I mean? It's like all that stuff is what the dice will decide.
Got it. So it looks a little sturdier than I'd want.
Sturdier than you'd want, but still absolutely within the realm of possibility.
I'm gonna say I think we should run. We should get out of here, and then find a place to camp.
That's what I've been saying.
Pythar being here before, and with his great survival skills, can I figure out a direction to go?
Yeah, I mean, I'll just remind you, anybody who's been here before remembers that this is kind of the halfway point on this like trade road that you originally got sent to. It was getting like raided by kobolds in the first place, months ago when you guys were level 3. On the south end, there is the Stinging Mist tribe, and that they're the like lizard folk that you guys talked to and stuff.
Oh yeah, we're friends
And
with them.
then, to the north was Irrigan, which the last time you guys saw it, it was being leveled by a fucking dragon. So, that's where you guys are at. And then loosely Edgetown is like to the west, but it's like a couple days to the west, you know what I mean?
And passing by that lake, right?
Correct.
Okay, so in this moment, I'm just going to like look for a second and say, so wait, what are we what are we going after again? Does anyone remember? And I'm like shuffling through. Maybe I don't know if I have papers, but I'm like looking through my bag to remind myself.
Wait, do we remember what?
What's our goal?
Oh, we're trying to find the portal, or the sister portal of the one that we destroyed in the place that starts with an I. I don't remember off the top of my head.
And that's across the sea now, isn't it?
If we pull up maps and things. If I recall correctly, we are oh no, we're actually closer to Irrigan now, so
Yeah, that's what I mean. Because okay, so yeah, Port Saucus. Because we were trying to get to like
Then we're halfway between
Enclave.
Irrigan and then directly to the west. So I say we head back to Edgetown. Remember, that's where we had the wizard that can disenchant.
Didn't he move over to?
Oh, he did.
Port
He did.
Saucus?
Yeah, he did. You're
Mhm.
correct.
Uh-huh. I can't find like a zoomed in map here. Let me just, I guess, zoom in myself here. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. June, June 26, 2022. Jesus Christ. 2.5 years ago.
And I going back in everyone's memory, didn't some people go to Karak?
Yes.
Just north of Edgetown?
Yeah, I believe some people did go to Karak for different stuff. Yeah.
Okay. Gavas is gonna say we could travel to Edgetown. God, did Gavas even know this? No, I joined the party after, didn't I?
Yeah.
I'm pretty new. Yeah, I joined after you guys went to the south and fought the. Okay, then Simone is gonna say, "Listen, fools, I got some connections in Karak. We burned some bridges in Edgetown, didn't we? It could be no bueno, as I say.
As I say.
And plus, there's still that monster in the water. Don't you putos remember that? It was like grabbing people and like mind controlled somebody to like walk into the water. I think it was you, Reed.
Yeah, I remember that. We don't need to go to Edgetown. We can go to Karak. Yeah, that sounds good to me.
Yeah, I got a buddy in United Fruit in Karak. He could.
United Fruit, really?
Did you take a little tumble today?
I bumped my head as we were exiting the.
Bumped my head.
Why? What's up? What's up, Adesk? What's up, Pluto?
I just heard.
No, say what's on your mind.
He's killing it.
Come on, sweetie.
What?
Spit it out.
Nothing. I was just making a joke in poor taste.
What do you guys think?
I think we need to get out of here. I think we should go to Caracas. That sounds good.
As a test says, I think we should get out of here. You guys hear more than just the like ambient sounds of like bugs and birds, but some definite like something somewhere is like fighting something or eating something, just like out in the swamp somewhere.
Okay, we're going towards here again, I guess.
Rock.
I know, but we got to go because we're not going to go through Edgewood. We got to go through Irrigan. Looking at the map.
And we know we're in the marshlands, right, David? But we don't know exactly where, right?
I mean, some of you guys who have been here before,
I've been here.
Tusk, Simone, and Kythar and Reed, like they know where they are. Like they've literally been here before.
Okay.
Yeah, and I've been to the surrounding area, right?
Yeah,
Like I've traveled through here.
Yeah, you absolutely traveled through here. I will say that I forgot you actually bring up a good point. You mentioned that Simone has like contacts in Karak, and he spent a month doing business there. I think that with him investing that kind of time in that way, he would also know that two things: that this like red algae stuff is a product that they like that is pretty highly sought after there, and that it's used for like ceremonial purposes for people who have to like make pilgrimages through the desert to the like oasis that is out there. But like Karak is a city in the middle of the desert as well, and so I will say that for him, because he does have business contacts there. Galfast probably also knows that, but for different reasons, for knowing why things are valuable reasons. And yeah, there you go.
Okay, and then on the map, I'm looking at if we would know where we are, where would our characters think we
Well,
are?
there's
So we're south of Irrigan. On the
Well, I'm looking at it. It has like a little tower.
Yeah, there's physically a marker
north of
there
the-
on the
north of the mountains.
on the second
between
map,
the two mountains.
I see the zoomed in.
Yeah, the zoomed in. It's on the right side between the. Yeah, it's not the tower. Soto. That's actually a different ruin. You guys are in the one that's almost like dead middle of that screen. There's almost like a lake in the middle, and then to the right of that lake, there's like a little icon. So anyway, so it's a couple hours both ways, basically, to get to either Irrigan or the Stinging Mist tribe from where you guys are at, and 4 of you know that down pat.
Okay.
Alright.
Yeah, I guess I was just gonna say either way works for me, but
Well, I hope that dragon fucked off.
well, that's the other thing I was gonna bring up. Aren't we cursed? Don't they know where we are? It's like a homing device.
We got rid of it. The helmet got rid of it. Remember when we took it to the dragon? And we took it to the wizard in Port Saucus.
I guess I forgot that.
In all fairness, Galfast, I think you physically weren't there because you were out. They had to come back for you. They literally transported themselves to Port Saucus. You were like wandering around. You saw Lord Estebar's like funeral happening, and then you like wandered back. They had to like come back from Port Saucus and then go back again. So you actually, I don't think we're even there for that.
Imagine the curse is still on me. Okay. Yeah, either way works for me, fool. But I got some connections in, Karak. And you know me, I love a change of scenery. So that's my pitch. I mean, so far, all of my suggestions have been great, right? The Underdark was great. That was a great suggestion, I think. Other people Karak's going to be great. We're going to go through Irrigan. Everything's going to be fine. What do you guys think? Putos.
Fuck it.
Well, I mean, we're so lucky that it's maybe Reed is right. Maybe there is some sort of higher power. I'm sorry, that was just a bad attempt at a joke. And
Got him.
I got him. But I've got one more teleport, and since I've been here before, and I know where we're going, we can at least get out of here. If you all want to jump back in the hole again, of course. It's got to be cramped in there.
I feel like narratively, one of these days, David is just gonna say, "I get mugged, and the hole is gonna get taken."
Oh my god.
We're gonna get nerfed.
There is an element of the whole that has been completely transparently described that I don't think anybody remembers, and that's fine. But you're not far off, Aaron. There is, you will one day have to pay the Pied Piper, but Not this day. So,
Is it something I should know? It'd be my notes.
perhaps it may be worth reviewing those. But at this point, Atesk has pitched. You guys jumping in the hole. Since you guys just talking plan, I forgot to grab a beer, so I'm gonna go do that. You guys talk plan. I'll be right back.
I mean, a task. I've been in your hole so much now that it's.
Oh, it's not my hole. It's Galfast's.
Oh well.
It's mine.
Yeah. You're getting all cozy in Galfast's hole.
I mean, well, I can be in both of your holes. It doesn't matter.
No, I don't have a hole.
It's gonna be a tight fit.
We only have the one.
Here, let me check.
Well, now you guys are confusing me. Galfast, do you want me in your hole, or a task? Do you want me in your hole?
He doesn't have one. That's what I'm trying to tell you.
Yeah, only Galfast. So, or do you guys want to walk? I mean, if we landed almost literally anywhere else, we would have had to walk. But since we're here, and we want to go that way, I got you. Of course, I'm pretty tired though, so.
Open up Galfast.
Yeah, I'm down. I feel like we should do. Oh, it's David back. David.
Yeah, I'm here. So, where did you guys decide on?
We're getting in Galfast's hole.
Great. And then where are you trying to end up?
As far as I can get towards Crocus, based on where I've been before.
Based on where you've been before, it depends on the route you're trying to go. Like traditionally, you'd leave by boat via Edgetown. Would be the way to get there, unless you guys plan on like adventuring through the desert.
I think we have enough gold that we can get there by boat.
We have to go past the scary lake. 'Cause that's the only way I've been.
I see. So you guys are trying to not go past the scary lake.
I don't care. Tusk doesn't care. He just wants to get away from here. So either way, doesn't really matter. And he kind of actually probably prefer to go to Edgetown because it's closer. And honestly, Tusk, nor I can remember what we did in Edgetown at this moment. Why we're not welcome back. So he doesn't care.
No, we're fine there.
You guys, I think you guys are cool. You guys are cool in Edgetown.
That's the one where they sent us on the quest. We did the thing at the mine shaft, and then we went south and killed the dragon. Edgetown is
the
where
acid things, like the acid blobs.
Yeah, that sounds familiar.
Yeah,
and then
that was
Edgetown
that.
itself, it had all the refugees. There was the ship. Edgetown, there's some backstory where the leader of Edgetown had just died. And then we went into Cade's house, and he whisked us to the other side of the lake, the cave, and then that was when we went south from there. But yeah, we're fine at Edgetown.
Okay, cool. Okay.
Aaron, if you have room for a hero point, take one, because I really appreciate that you know
nice.
that much about Edgetown.
I think I do.
Wonderful. Then yeah, we'd go towards as far as I can get us towards Edgetown in that
Okay.
direction.
And I got to look
And
at
we'll
a map.
stay
Because you get
away
to go
from the scary lake.
Yeah, you get to go as the crow flies for your teleporting, or pretty close to it, I guess.
I mean, I'll leave the mechanics of that up to you, but
Yeah. Let me take a quick little peek sees here.
by definition, it has to be somewhere I've been, though.
So yeah, so if you were gonna go just straight up west, you'd have to cover some grounds you haven't been in, but as long as you're ending up somewhere you've been, yeah, you guys could like pretty much completely bypass going through Irrigan at all, and you guys could end up farther out there. So what's your normal? Your normal range is like 2 or 3 miles, right? Like that's what your spell gives you for free.
Yeah. I think it's 3 miles.
Okay, and so
Or I think what we've decided on is 3 miles, I should say.
right, and then you have to roll an Arcana check with an ascending difficulty DC to go. So in that way, you kind of have to give me a number of miles that you're going to like shoot for. But I will say this, that like even it's I don't know, 50 miles, 65, 70, 80 miles. I'm not sure 100%. I've not done that math. It's probably more than you can do in a go to get all the way to Edgetown.
Absolutely, 100%. Atess's main goal is he knows he mobilized an entire army of kobolds,
Right, right.
and he just basically wants to GTFO. So
Cool.
as far as he can get, he will, 3 miles. He'd be happy with 3 miles, but he'll take,
Yeah, he can do
5
3.
miles.
Yeah, he can do 3 for free. If you want to roll, you can roll for 5, 7, 10, or whatever.
I'll roll for 5.
Roll for 5. Right.
Yeah, we'll just do that.
Okay. Then I'll take that roll. Oh yeah, 100%. No problem, my guy. You. That's an natural 20. I'm gonna double that. I'm gonna give you 10 miles on that. So
Love it.
You guys end up basically at the edge of the like swamplands entirely. You're like staring down the road to Edgetown, and you have a lot of this swamp behind you. You're still kind of in the edges of it, but give me a second. Just because I made it. And so, you guys make your way through most of a significant portion of these swamps and are, within a stone's throw of the edge of it where, some of the water recedes, the tree line, the trees become more sparse, and the land, becomes solid underneath your feet. And a test just like pops you guys in this hole, whisk, teleport, boom, bang, boom. You guys end up kind of here at the edge, on the fucking road to Edgetown. About, I don't know. I think I made you guys camp once, only once on this journey. So about a day's journey out, not quite. But boom, successful. You are gonna have to shake them loose out of that hole. So go ahead and roll a d6 for me, just for fun. A task.
Yep.
4. That's undead.
Yes.
There we go. So zombie almost fucking crawls out of this thing before you snap it a couple of more times. Meanwhile, you hear a growling, grumbling sound appearing from behind you. Go ahead and roll a d6 again. Different plane.
Fire.
Fire. The snarling is getting closer, my friend, and you have not yet gotten the correct plane.
I'm gonna look back.
Yeah. You look back, and there is a like fucking alligator, crocodile coming up on you.
Okay. I'm going to continue to use the bag correctly
Okay, great. Sounds good.
or incorrectly.
Yeah, go ahead and give it a go. Your friends do not yet emerge from the bag. I think mechanically I have to put you on the field in order to have anything try to do anything. So give me a second.
I got a response to this. We're good.
You're cool. Yeah, no, I figure you do. You're fine.
That's what I tell myself.
Okay. This thing lunges at you and misses. What do you want to do, bud?
When is it within 5 feet of me?
Well, 100% is within 5 feet of you.
Okay, so as soon as it's within 5 feet of me as a reaction, I'm gonna cast this thing and fly 15 feet away from it,
Cool. Yeah.
and then try and get everybody out.
Okay, sounds good. You fly 15 feet away. You're just opening this thing up on the ground, presumably? Because you need a surface to slap the hole against.
Oh, okay. Yeah, then I'll like not necessarily fly, but like just move away.
Hop.
Oh.
Yeah. Cool.
That is a paradise world.
Yeah, this thing
But
scampers
I already
over.
rolled a 3.
Yeah, well, that's the whole thing with this. It's random.
Okay, gotcha.
It's every time you, and so Crocodile uses one of his movements to close that gap. He's up on you. What would you like to do? We're going action by action because it's taking you one to snap this thing. Nope. Oh, no,
Let's see.
there we go.
I guess mechanically, like, how many actions does it take to do the portal thing?
1.
1. Okay.
Because
And if
am
I
a
move, he gets
generous
an
god.
attack of opportunity, right? Because he's like right next to me.
If he has that, I don't know if he has that. You don't know if he has that.
Oh,
It's
right.
it's
'cause
it's
we
not a
don't do that
given in
anymore.
Pathfinder Second Edition. Yeah.
Right.
Rar.
You know what? Fuck it. I'm just gonna attack the alligator. Well, no, shit. I need to get everybody out, or they're gonna die.
Well, we've used the hole before, and it takes the same. Usually, on average, it takes the same amount of time to get us out every time. So this isn't surprising to you, Tesk. I don't think. Well, correct me if I'm wrong, David, but we're not on like the brink of dying.
No, but depending on how many tries it takes, with all of you guys in there, air definitely gets tighter. The more like failed chances he gets. You guys have just never done it in a pressure situation before, so we've never rolled it out.
Yeah.
You know what? Fuck it. It's only 6 seconds. They can live another 6 seconds.
To be fair, we only start to get brain damage after we run out of air.
Yeah, it's fine. I'm just gonna cast Blazing Bolt on the crocodile, alligator, whatever
Cool.
it is.
Yeah, sounds great. He's there. Just do it.
I always forget how to fucking do this one.
You just got to target him. You hit that attack button. Yeah.
After you make all of this, okay, so it only applies to other things if I were to cast another spell, I guess. All right, whatever.
You just full bore in the sky.
Yep.
Cool. Fucking. Nice. Nice. This is the same. This is the for. I don't know if you guys remember. Those of you who were at the campaign at the beginning, a crocodile was the very first thing that you guys ever fought in this campaign.
Yeah.
Can we
I do
see like
vaguely remember that.
above its head? What level is it? Is it gray?
The number's green for sure. Yeah, gray.
The number's
Yeah.
green.
Yeah. Do all your damages, my friend. Well, you could just stack up dice at the bottom for all your d6 if you know how many you're supposed to roll. You can't find.
Yeah,
the
I think
correct
I'm just
button.
supposed to do this 3 times. I guess. How do I make this a crit?
I don't
You
know.
should just
I
double
don't
it,
know.
right?
I don't know that spells crit. I think that was one of the big criticisms of. I mean, there's a double button.
Gotcha.
There. I'll hit that. It's all good because if you double that, that is exactly.
There, and then
Yeah, man, you fucking. He's fucking. You got him. He's fucking so dead. I don't know why the skull icon isn't working anymore, but he's very dead.
now
Cool.
I will
Yeah,
Roll
and there it is. And on the next roll,
there
you
you
snap
go.
so you guys all pop out, and there is like a crispy ass crocodile corpse still like smoking and smoldering like right in front of you guys when you pop out of the hole.
What we
Oh,
miss?
what happened here?
A little
I'm
bit
gonna
of
cover-
interference.
Simone is going to cover Rowan's eyes and say, "He's just sleeping, fool. He's just sleeping."
Oh, okay.
I was gonna say sorry, Rowan. Didn't mean to.
It's not a good place for a nap, right? A task. The
That's
crocodile
correct.
shouldn't be sleeping there.
Yeah, he's just sleeping while he's on fire.
Oh, well, it is a little warm in this swamp, so I can see why he's burning up.
I think somebody's making barbecue.
Ooh,
Barbecued vegetables, of course, Rowan.
yeah.
Okay, so we all popped out.
So you guys all popped out. You're at the edge of the swamp here. Basically, in front of you, due to the west, is the road to Edgetown, which most of you have traveled at one point or another. To the east is the road back into the swamp towards what would have been Irrigan. Let me see here.
Yeah,
And
looking at the map, like where are we? Cloud, where are we to the Stillwater Basin?
to the Stillwater Basin, you guys are to the northeast of the Stillwater Basin. You guys are still behind that bottleneck where it gets pretty close to the mountain there.
Gotcha.
Oh yeah, I should have imported that map, honestly. I think I can do that super quick, actually, while you guys are chatting.
We should probably get out of here, get back to or start making our way to Croc, right? That's where we want to go.
Yep. Galfast is going to say, "Well, I thought we were going to Edgetown." I had Simone had pitched Karak, but it sounds like we're closer to Edgetown. The boats leave from Edgetown anyway.
Oh, I mean, we only had one choice. This is the only place I've been
no.
before. So yeah,
I'm not criticizing. I'm just,
it sounds like you are criticizing.
it would have been nice. Karak is a nice to have. Okay.
I just feel like we've been lied to here. That's all.
I'm gonna say, but I am pretty tired, and me Galfast, I've never been here before. Do you guys have anywhere to sleep when you traveled here the first time? We're gonna need a full night's sleep.
No,
What do you mean?
wait, we just made camp. We just slept.
Oh my god!
Like you do. We
Yeah,
kind of.
when your party came through here the first time, you guys were shit. I'll find a good camp. I don't know who your tracking expert was, but he must have sucked.
I mean, we kind of left in a hurry. We didn't really plan. The whole city
Didn't have a whole
got
lot of
destroyed
time.
by a dragon. Acid everywhere. It was.
Do you
was a
ever
little hectic.
not leave somewhere in a hurry? A task?
That brings up a really good point. I can't think of the last time we didn't just have to leave after some sort of disastrous event. That's crazy. I've never realized that until just now.
This is like a good moment for self-reflection for you all.
Wow.
Are we the baddies?
Yeah, it was like, what happened to Irrigate again? Can you refresh my memory?
Well, it's not there anymore.
At some point, Galfast is going to look around this area for a place to camp.
Yeah, so from here you have a couple of options. Is he the kind of guy to kind of ascend into the foothills and mountains? There is kind of looming on the south ridge. There is an old crumbling tower, kind of set halfway up into one of the mountain faces down there. There's kind of a flat where the marshlands, where the ground's a little higher before it sinks into the Stillwater Basin. So you've got a couple of different like terrain options. Is there anywhere in particular you feel more comfortable going?
Yeah, Galfast is a city dwarf, but he would in this moment look towards the mountains for like a, hike, spend an hour hiking up, take, he would lead the group an hour up to find like a, you know, somewhere safe, like a cave or some sort of outcropping in the mountains.
Cool. Sounds great. Is yeah, I mean that's just a survival roll, I think. So go ahead and make that. It will take you some time to do that. Anybody else have any way they want to spend that hour or so while Galfast is scouting?
I would be refocusing basically the entire time.
Okay, sounds good. I mean, you super would have gotten a chance to refocus during your not full rest before you came up, but you absolutely get another opportunity to refocus here, unless there's.
I don't think I would have. I was casting a spell.
Oh, you were casting a spell the entire time. You're right. You did. So yeah, this is your first chance to refocus. Yeah, 100%. Yeah, you for sure have enough time to do that. Because only like 10 minutes, right?
I think it's 15 per.
Okay, fair enough. Either way, Galfast, I would love that survival roll from you.
Yep, I'm going to use because it's blind, I'm going to do a hero point.
You got it. Roll with advantage. Keep higher.
Which is great because I think I spent most of mine last session.
Well, good. You got a bonus one for knowing stuff, so might as well use them. Yeah, man, 100%. You are making your way up these foothills, and as you do so, you can see that there are a lot of like remnants of camps, especially at the very like base, like just off the road. But as you take some of the like a little bit more difficult terrain and just get another a few hundred feet higher, you're able to find much more secluded areas that would not even be like visible down from the roadside, where you've got protection from the elements, and you could even light a fire here. And the way that the way that the bends of the rocks are is that it would be relatively well shielded from visibility. So you find if we're tiering these guys out, you find an A tier campsite up here in these mountains.
I'm gonna say I found an A tier campsite up here. Not quite an S, but
There you go.
I only want it if it's S.
the tier
Kythar
S.
starts following.
Yeah.
You guys, travel up to this campsite. You guys are up there. As a reminder, your lantern will not work because you used it, in the last 24 hours, basically. But you guys are in this campsite here, quite literally off the beaten path, in these mountains, overlooking the marshlands on one side, and the Stillwater Basin on the other. Exhausted, are you guys going to and you guys are now safely in camp? We doing watches? Are we all just like collapsing? Do you have anything to talk about?
So what's our plan for tomorrow? We're here. Do we want to keep pushing to Karak? How are we gonna do we want to go back and look for the sister portal? I mean, I don't see any other way. We gotta talk to Cade.
I would prefer not to talk to Cade.
You don't think Cade would want to know what's
Oh, he would want to know.
Okay.
I'd prefer not to talk to him.
But he might be upset of what we potentially might have unleashed.
Yeah.
You know what? Let me consult somebody else. And I'm gonna go into like my prayer.
Okay. Yep.
And I'm not gonna hide anything. So like how the old god just like sifted through my memories.
Right.
I'm basically just gonna like give all of my memories to Iomade of what happened in the grade below.
You're uploading your experiences to the cloud quite
That's pretty much
literally.
it. Yeah.
Yeah.
Upload complete.
I believe this is called a confession.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I will say this
Why is there a
that
lot of masturbation?
Iomade, even for somebody like you, it's pretty rare to like actually hear your god's voice, kind of thing. But like feeling her presence and like being back on this plane and like being able to like commune with your god in a way that has not been available to
Oh,
you.
this feels great. This is amazing.
Yeah, so you are all of that has been refilled. You do sense that you have her attention. Like basically, as soon as you get to the like ancient god bit, you like feel like the weight of her vision on you, and she begins to like watch and listen super intently as you are like relaying these like memories and stuff, and you feel a much gentler version of that, like embodying you and experiencing things like the ancient god did, but in this but it's your god doing it this time, so and you're opening yourself up and all this stuff. But as you like kind of spool through all of that process, you kind of get this like you feel a sense of approval from Iomade for for keeping your friends safe, but you also like feel a very significant and like heavy level of concern, and like immediately after doing this you feel like compelled to return to Othyris to like consult with your high priests. Like you feel in the same way that religious folks are like, I feel drawn or compelled to this. Like instantly you are like compelled. You're like, I need to get back to Othyris and like tell fucking people about this. And that all kind of like happens simultaneously as you're doing your download thing. My quiet boys, Atesk, Rowan. How are we doing, guys? We're in the campsite. What's up?
So Rowan's gonna kind of just be exploring all the wildlife around him. He'll looking at like see if there's any type of like fungi or lichen or anything like that. But while he's doing that, you just see him kind of walking around, and he's kind of it's just like almost like he's singing in a way, but it sounds, it's like animal sounds and like the wind through the trees, the it just, you think he's almost singing, but it sounds like like nature at the same time, if that makes sense.
Yeah, he's one of those white noise machine nature boxes, but the human version of it, walking around, Mary Poppins and all up in here. Yeah, absolutely fucking love that. Probably not a ground squirrel around here. What might you have? Maybe like a little lizard, comes like around from a rock as you're singing and just like kind of like snakes his way up your thigh and like ends up like perched on your arm, just like staring up at you while you're singing.
Yeah, and he's just gonna acknowledge and kind of smile at the lizard and just keep on singing. If the lizard allows him, he's gonna kind of pet it under the chin. Just happy to be out in nature again.
Yeah, and he's just like flopped over you, like arms and feet, just like absolutely no tension on them, just like lifting his chin on like your forearm as you are just like making your way through. And if lizards could purr, he would be. Atesk, my guy, you've been teleporting, you've been moving, you've been concerned, you've put some distance between you and your place, and you guys are set up at camp. What you doing?
Yeah, I was refocusing, and then probably want to study the other sigil that I have.
Yes.
If I don't just immediately pass out, because I am exhausted.
I think that this might be one of those situations where we're pretty much passing out, depending on kind of like what our strategies are. You know what? I will say this, Atesk. I'll leave it up to you. Do you think Atesk would have the energy to study something right now?
I think he'd probably fall asleep trying to study something for sure.
Cool. Sounds
But
good.
yeah, he'd probably still try.
Give me a fortitude save.
I always forget those are on the left.
Yeah, those are on the front one. Let's call that DC 25 fortitude save.
Okay, so because you said that I need to should I do a public?
Public, yeah. Everybody will see if you fall asleep or not. You know,
Not if they're asleep.
not if they're asleep. That's true. Yeah, 100%. You're able to like fight through and at least get the chance at an Arcana check to study this. But I am going to take that at disadvantage as you are. No, like I said, I don't need a disadvantage because you already get -1 to it for being fatigued. So if you want to make your Arcana check to look at your relic now, you may do that as well.
All right.
What about the rest of you guys? You know, I'm happy to time skip us to the morning, depending on what's important to you guys.
I'll take first watch.
I'm trying to think if Simone or Galvas would do anything. How does Simone? He desummons Will, right? Doesn't he during, or does he have any reason to desummon him? If you don't know, that's fine.
He has to desummon him when he goes to sleep because when he like loses consciousness, he can't like maintain the connection or whatever. But in theory, he can be around all the way up until he goes to sleep.
Okay, I feel like Simone is like off to the side talking to Will, and Galfast and my pet will be. Like, well, it's probably won't have a fire, but me and Banjo and I would be. Honestly, we probably would have taken some of that alligator with us, the charred alligator.
Yeah.
Like a hot meal.
Yeah, I'm surprised nobody mentioned that they weren't grabbing some of that. Truth be told.
Yeah.
So fair. Sweet. Then I heard a couple of watches. We got 2, 3.
Yeah, I'll take
I
one.
Yeah, I can take another one.
3.
3.
No.
I'm about to say
Ron will take one.
3, 4, 3 between 3 or 4 is absolutely enough. I am moving. I'm shifting away from like individual roles as we do watches, just because I feel like it's a little bit time consuming. So what I'm going to do instead is make a quick little roll here myself. Anything you guys would want to like cover before you like crash for the night?
Yeah. As soon as I come out of like my meditation prayer, whatever you want to call it.
Yeah.
It was Galfast, the one who said I don't want to talk to Cade. So I'm gonna come out and say, well, Galfast, I got some feelings for my Omade, and I guess we don't have to talk to Cade right away, if you don't want to. But I really think we need to talk to the High Priest and Otheris about unleashing whatever we did.
Well, it's just some kobolds. I don't see the big deal. What do you need to talk to them for?
Just some kobolds, right? What about the moving walls? And the god that almost ripped my brains out of our heads.
He's way down there. I don't see what the big issue is. Okay, there's a deep, dark divide between us and the surface, and I don't think they can pass it.
David.
Mm-hmm.
Could I pitch you like a religion check to see if I can still feel the presence of the god even while we're all the way up here? Especially considering he was in my brain.
You would have to I guess I would answer your question with a question. Would Reed consciously try to make a connection with this god again?
I would not try to make a connection with the god. I would just try to see if I could feel the like, the like bad vibes feeling that we were getting while we were down there.
Yeah, I mean that's gone.
Okay. Um. I don't think he's gone, Galfast. I think he's still here. I mean, I'm not gonna try and reach out because I know how that's gonna end. But um, this thing is as old as Valmina itself. I don't think that's gonna happen. And by all means, we can talk to Kate first.
Okay, well what are you saying? Where do you think we should go?
Well, Kate told us to look for his mark wherever we're at. We could check for his mark in Edgetown, and then worst case, go to Karak. He's got to have a mark there.
And just knowledge base. Did you say Karak doesn't have any shipping? Would Simone know that Karak, the main port is Edgetown, or did I mishear?
No, the main port is definitely Karak. If you were trying to get to Karak, most people would get on a boat. From where you are, most people would get on a boat from Edgetown and sail to Karak.
Okay, I understand that makes sense. Yeah. Okay, I would say, yeah, I mean, we can, I don't, one of you guys can talk to Cade. Between you and me, I'm afraid of him. I don't really want to talk to him.
Oh, don't get me wrong, I'm afraid of the guy too, but this seems more important than all of us.
But so wait, but you said we don't have to talk to him. We can talk to somebody else. Where did you want to go?
Otheris,
What the hell was that?
where I'm from. That's across the bay from us, right, David? It's across the ocean?
No, it's like south.
That was southeast.
It is southeast from where you guys are at. Give me a second. I have the world map.
Yeah, please.
Okay, so you guys are, here-ish, right? Oh, hold on, I have the wrong thing.
Yeah, we're over here.
You guys are, well, not quite. You guys
Oh,
are like
God.
here, and then Otheris is down here.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna point to the mountain range that's south of us and go over that.
Yeah, over that, and then over that, and then over that, and then through the valley, and then over that, and then it's there, right?
Mm-hmm. Or we could talk to Cade.
I'm gonna say, hey Simone, are there any boats that go from? Could we take a boat to Karak, learn more, and then maybe hop on a boat to Theris? And
It's a
Simone's
long-
gonna say,
that's a long
let me
boat.
think. Well, it's a longer walk.
We'd also have to go through the College of Arcane Arts.
Oh,
I
fuck.
look at a test.
No, we don't have to do that.
We'll just run from all of our problems forever.
Or
Yeah,
we could just talk to Cade and then see what he says.
Oh my
yeah,
God.
he could teleport us over there.
To Otheris. That's my vote. Please, Mr.
Okay.
Cade, I'm sorry my friends made a really dumb decision.
I think we do-
Can
we need to think of a plan before we talk to him. Maybe we could do like good cop, bad cop, or maybe we could do. When I was a kid, I would always say, "Do you want the good news or the bad news?" That was a really good one.
what? Okay, so the bad news is we unleashed an evil ancient god
And
upon
the
world.
kobolds, and the kobolds.
Yeah, the goal.
And
And instead of being where we're supposed to be, we may be back in here again. I would say
what's
that's
what's your good news?
it's a beautiful day and
Most of us came back.
sunny 75.
It's winter. You know what? Let's grab some sleep.
Tell me more about Altheris. Let's run from this problem.
Let's just
We're
make fun of-
just if we do nothing but side quests, pretty soon we'll be such a high level for the main quest that we can just come back and steamroll the main
Is
quest.
that our plan?
Yeah, and I'm sure all the bad guys will just wait for you patiently too. I'm sure
Right.
it'll work
Yeah.
out really well.
Yeah.
And it's not level matched.
Great. So it's settled. We'll look for his mark in the morning.
Or yeah, well, it takes a while to get to Edgetown. It may take another day, but yeah, you can look for his mark in the morning. That sounds great. And I feel like you look over and Simone, you know how when Peter Griffin gets like punched in the face, how he passes out with like his back like fully in the air? I feel like that's how Simone is sleeping while we're talking.
That's good. All right, so it sounds like the plan is loosely to head to Edgetown in the morning.
Yeah. Maybe we can do our teleporting thing. Get there quick, ASAP.
If there's
We're gonna
nothing
cast
else.
another 5th level spell again.
Oh, fuck.
Are you casting a spell like before you take your long rest, or are you casting your spell in the morning?
In the morning.
Cool. Before you guys get there, as you guys are kind of camping through the night, there are a couple of like sounds and sights. The first is got to be the sounds of like distant, like bellowing of war horns to the east, and like columns of smoke that you see like rising from the swamps to the east. Simultaneously, you catch that there are a number of like large caravans which are traveling along the road from Edgetown into the marshlands, into the swamplands, where there are wagons like that are open faced that have like, 6, 10, 12 individuals in them, who are all like dressed in rags, and they're all like manacled, and they all have these like blue glowing kind of like arcane tattoos on their forehead. Any of you guys who spent any time in Karak know that these are essentially slaves. The guild won't say as much. They say these are all people who are under contract, but it's a magical contract that will quite literally kill you if you don't do what the person who holds the contract tells you, instructs you to do. So there's a bunch of of essentially like these slaves that are being carted in, as well as like huge like cartloads of like lumber and like building supplies, and you see probably 2 or 3 of those caravans go into the like on 2 different watches, right, like through the night. You guys are seeing these caravans like moving seemingly day and night. But then after there is some of the like ruckus which happens in the marshlands, you guys see there are a couple of like horse mounted like messengers who come like bolting out of the marshlands, like running down the path towards Edgetown, and they're in the like traditional garb of the Merchants Guild, as they're like kind of like contracted soldiers. But a lot of the like fighting doesn't break out until like just before the end of your long rest, which would be sunrise roughly. And so like just before sunrise, there is this like fighting that seems to be breaking out deep in the marshlands. You guys have seen a couple of like like supplies and manpower shipments going into the swamp, and then a couple of riders come bolting out of the swamp pretty shortly after all of the like ruckus started. But dawn breaks, everybody gets their long rest. You guys can all hit your bed icons on your characters to get yourself topped off. And whoever was on last watch, I think Chris, Rowan, so you are probably the last one up who sees these like single riders come out from the marshlands and like bolt with the quickness, riding so fast that they are certainly going to kill those horses, heading towards Edgetown. And as dawn breaks, you can see like columns of smoke rising over the marshlands. What Rowan, it's Rowan's final watch. It's his kind of responsibility to wake people up. Where's he at? What's he doing?
He's gonna start waking everybody up. no real particular order, just whoever's closest to him, and just he's going to go down the line, and then he's just going to point out to the marshlands and just go, well, I think something's going on out there. I've seen some riders come through. Unfortunately, I think it might be bad because they're pushing the horses too hard. But they're heading towards Edgetown. I don't know what's going on.
I'm gonna say, you said there were caravans headed from Edgetown to Aragon.
No, I saw some riders heading out of the marshlands
Yeah,
towards.
you probably would have seen
Edgetown.
those caravans yourself, Aaron, on your own
Oh, okay.
watch. Yeah.
Well, that's not good. And you said they're probably just getting there to rebuild Aragon. From Edgetown, they're probably, trying to build their town back up, and it may get burned down again. So that's not good.
Yeah, it's probably just the kobolds. Yeah, I think we're fine. I'm
Yeah,
gonna
I
go
mean-
back to bed.
And this is the morning though.
This is the morning.
The sun's
Okay.
out.
Okay, well let's just get a move on before things get worse over here.
Yeah, I think they'll be fine.
What could go wrong?
And once we get back to Edgetown, we'll reunite you with those horses, Rowan, and you can nurse them back to health.
Ooh, okay.
Yeah, things are looking up. Wouldn't want to go back to here again, like those people, but other than that,
You wouldn't want to do that right now. Be a death wish. Surely you would die. There's so many kobolds. Let's
let's
pack our shit. Get out of here.
yeah. I think we'll start to pack up. Just taking a look out now.
Yeah.
Is there still action happening in marshlands, or has it quieted down?
No, there's absolutely still action happening out in the marshlands.
Well, I suppose we could always just go to Otherus then.
From here,
From here.
how long does that take from here? Do you think?
Weeks.
A while.
Did we ever get an answer? Do we know if there's a boat from the port city Karak down to Otherus? Or would Simone have no idea?
You
No,
know
it's
all the way
Simone's-
around.
No, presumably there'd be a. I mean, he owns boats. He could make, even if there wasn't a route, he could pay one of his guys to make that a route.
Yeah, Simone's gonna say, "I got a boat full. We'll just go to my house and I got a cool boat." Yo, we're not gonna walk there for 2 weeks. What are you saying, Reed? That's so stupid, Reed. Fool.
I mean, we could try it. How long's the boat gonna take us?
Less than that. I've never been that far, but
How long?
Or maybe-
is the boat? Or is there a boat that we can take through the channels?
I got a boat.
Okay. Can we do? Does it take us through the College of Arcane Arts?
Aaron does not know.
Neither does Galfast.
I think so.
Would Simone?
I think so.
Simone would. So, I mean, Simone would know that is like the Bermuda Triangle of this world, right? Like that is not a place you want to sail through. And yes, it would likely need to go through it there to get around.
Is there a way north?
Not particularly. It all turns into like ice, I'm pretty sure. No, yeah, the Irishire Sea drops off to the north. It's there's a couple of bays. You could you could run a short stint in to like one of these bays and then have a shorter travel.
Yeah.
But
That's still probably better. Simone's gonna say, we can get you like 75% of the way there in my boat. That's not a problem.
So generous,
Or-
Simone. Thank you.
Plus, we need supplies, fool. I don't got any food in my pack. I'm all out. And you're gonna see like clearly he has food in there, like more than he would need, but to him, like a turkey leg.
That's funny.
In fact, he's been holding out. Looking, he's had more food than everybody. He's been fine. In fact,
His fingers and mouth are greasy right now.
yeah, Kaifar, you looking there? Is that your wineskin you see?
He might be muted. He might be away from his desk.
Oh, sorry, I was muted. You bastard! Why would you do this?
What are you talking about, fool? I'm like snap my backpack closed. So yeah, I mean, taking the boat would save time, and we could talk to your friend, Cade.
Your friend, not my friend Cade. Your friend Cade.
Yeah,
I mean,
and then we could.
we could certainly try it.
You're saying you just want to stop with what we have and just head south here for 3 weeks. Is that what your pitch is?
No.
Or Reed?
No, that's not realistic. We're not going to do that.
Okay.
I'm just being facetious.
What is facetious?
Anyway, we're moving on. So we got to get through these marshlands to get to Edgetown, then, or is the
Well, we're out.
You guys
Oh,
are
I
yeah.
see.
You
The
guys are
fighting-
out. You're
the
at
fighting's
end.
behind us.
The fighting's
Yeah.
behind you guys in the marshlands.
Okay. Yeah, let's head to Edgetown then.
Are we doing so via mundane means, or are we doing so through magical means?
Galfast would say maybe we walk some of this. I think we should save your spells. What do you think, Atesk?
We could go a little bit, I guess. I mean, I've got a couple of spells extra after that. Might save us a little bit of time.
Simone's going to say, "Look, I was trapped in that hole for way longer than I liked that time, fool.
Oh,
It was getting stuffy."
Well, that's always the risk. I don't know. I'm always willing to let you guys take it.
It's a sacrifice I'm willing to make.
But I'm also good with walking. You know, it's fine. I'm okay with not casting translocate over and over and over and over.
What do you guys all think?
I'd love to walk.
Yeah, I don't mind walking. What are we gonna do? Get attacked by an alligator again?
If we wouldn't have burnt it to a crisp.
All right, so let's start walking. We can walk and talk, and once we get tired, we'll decide to move on from there.
Perfect. We're gonna take our break for the night real quick. It's 8:10. We'll come back at 8:20 with you guys like heading back to the main road and heading west towards Edgetown. I'll see you guys in 10.
Cool.
Right.
Oh,
All right, I'm live. No high live? Wow. All right, fine. We are getting ready to head to Edgetown. You guys have decided to do so via mundane means, which, unless you guys have other plans, means heading down to the road and just traveling due west on the road. So as you guys, get down to the road and do so, you lose kind of like your vantage point on the marshlands, but are able to see, quite a bit of smoke rising, and you can smell it from here on the breeze.
Before we leave our vantage point, do I see any movement in that area, or is it mostly just smoke and light sounds?
Yeah, go and give me a perception check. You are able to see from here that most of the smoke is concentrated on like a clearing, and you can see like the tops of all the trees swaying in like a 500-foot radius around that mark, where most of the smoke is. So you can like physically see the treetops like moving and swaying. There is zero doubt in Galfast's mind that is the Kobold army out there. Like, there's no other explanation for it.
Okay, and about how deep into the marshlands is that?
Um,
Does it look like where we came from, towards the center?
Yeah, I mean, let me see here. It's loosely where you came from. It's definitely closer to the once site of Irrigan.
Okay, Galfast. Well, you'd see Galfast squinting, but he probably wouldn't say anything.
Cool.
Okay, to Edgetown.
Yeah, you guys hit that main road and travel west, and probably get through the first half of your day pretty much without incident. But for how many caravans you were seeing moving through the night, and the sheer like quantity of materials that were being pushed down this road, physically the road itself like has deep ruts in both sides, is like completely torn up from overuse. It's not designed to handle the like load that's being shipped over it. Everything is like loose and muddy. But as you guys are kind of traveling along, you guys get to your lunch break kind of period at the midday point, and you guys see a single rider making his way up from like the Edgetown side, towards like basically coming down the road towards you guys. You guys see him coming. Anything in particular you want to do before he gets here?
Are we on the road?
You guys are on the road, yeah.
Off the road.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, we know... I'm sorry, you say he's coming from the Irrigan side, so he's fleeing?
No, he's coming from the Edgetown side, excuse me.
Edgetown, okay.
Edgetown to marshlands, right?
Right, he is traveling east.
Yeah, I mean, Simone would probably be towards the front, and whenever the guy got close, Simone would try to flag him down.
Yeah, so this like young, brown-haired human who looks not much older than Reed, comes running down. He's like very lightly armored, but he does have the sigil of the Merchants Guild upon him, and he draws up his horse, and kind of like looks down at you, and fare thee well, adventurers. Any word from the marshlands? Are you fleeing? Have you escaped?
Say, first of all, what's your name, fool?
He says, My name is Finn.
All right, well, nice to meet you, Finn. Yeah, we're fleeing the marshlands. Things are real bad over there, fool.
He says, so I've heard. I've been sent to scout ahead and ensure that the Are there any signs of the army?
Oh, what army?
He said there was one which, well, certainly you know if you're fleeing from there. The kobolds. They appeared as
we heard a commotion, but we got out of there too quick. We actually didn't see anything, which is true.
He says the kobolds have descended upon Irrigan. We've just gotten the city rebuilt and production up of the algae and now that it's been attacked again.
Oh man, well, jeez. Gotta hope you Putos have rebuilt enough. Are you sending like troops, or what's the plan?
He says they're mustering an army now, but most of the available troops were already sent for Irrigan. They expected it to have to hold it down against local wildlife. You know, there was word of a dragon, so they were sent prepared for that. But one dragon and an army of kobolds are very different threats.
Yeah, I mean, so yeah, dragon burned down your town, and then you guys rebuilt it, and then it's attacked by kobolds. Maybe don't build that town anymore is what I would say, fool.
We need the algae. That there's so much. Yeah, and he just like kind of like waves a hand, you know, all frustrated.
I'm gonna say, God, these guys are greedy. You know what I mean? Tesk, so greedy.
I mean, third time's the charm, right? That's what they say.
Oh, I'm gonna elbow him. I'm gonna say they're still in the second.
Well, that's the crazy thing about the kobolds, right?
No, I'm sure you guys will be fine. That's what a Teska's trying to say. Okay, so tell me this: you came from Edgetown, right?
Of course.
Yeah. So what I'm trying to say is, what's it like over there? How are things in Edgetown? I see the Merchant Guild logo.
And he, you know, his like kind of like chest puffs out proudly as you point out the logo, and he says, "Well, of course we keep law and order everywhere we go, especially in the frontier places such as Edgetown and Irrigan."
So that's good to hear. You can see Simone's matching sigil, and he says, I'm glad I pay my dues. We get you guys better defend Irrigan. That's like your job and shit. So, also, if you better hurry up. We don't pay overtime. You know that. You better be on the clock.
And he says, "Very well, adventurers." He says, "There's good money in it if you want to help in the defense yourself."
A few coppers isn't worth it for us. Thank you, though. On your way, fool.
And he definitely kind of gives you eyebrows. He doesn't like being told to be on his way, but he does need to be on his way. And so he just kind of gives you that look and turns, and the horse canters off, and he continues heading down east towards the marsh. You guys continue traveling along this road and get to, before long, the point where you guys had fought the aboleth at one point, where the water gets pretty close to the river here, and now there is nothing there, no marker, no sign that such a battle ever took place. But there were also a couple of campsites that were around here, and in a number of those places you see 3, 4, 5, 6 wagons full of materials. Some of these wagons are full of people, elves and halflings and humans who all have these brands on them essentially, and it's some of these supply caravans which seem to have been turned around and have started the process of heading back, but they move very slowly because of how heavy they are and all these supplies and shit. So as you guys kind of pass
back to Edgetown.
Yeah, they're headed, pointed back to Edgetown, but they're kind of having their midday, rests and, resting the animals and, all that kind of stuff, bathroom breaks and blah, blah, blah. So, you guys are kind of sharing this road and this campsite with a lot of these people, these places. Anything that you guys would do or say, or are we just making our way past Edgetown? A lot of these guys also have the merchant logo on them, but no armor. A couple of like caravan guards. But by and large, these are like laborers and people who are like transporting supplies and things. That's cool. That's fine. There's no obligation, my friends. We're just gonna narrate. We're just gonna move you. As we travel the rest of the day, you guys arrive on the edge of Edgetown, if you will, the outskirts, where it's lightly forested, which then breaks open into a couple of fields and furrows. There is a coastline on one side, which has a couple of a number of ships, all wielding the Merchant Guild logo on them. A few of them with the crest of Lord Estebar, who is now passed, but his family sigil, is on a number of these. There's the beached ship that is the Salty Lantern, Leaky Lantern. I can't remember what I called that.
That bar, yeah.
The bar that's down there. The big fortress on the water, which acts as this storehouse. The Lord's estate up on the hill, atop all of the farm and field lands, and the big kind of wide flat that had housed a bunch of the refugees is now back to being a disused large wide flat. But you guys approach and return to Edgetown with an hour or two left in your day. There are there's a lot of activity going on here. There are 2 or 3 times as many guards on the roads as there were before. As you guys approach, you can see that the fortress is fully manned, and there are dozens of men on top of it. You guys are probably seeing drunk soldiers coming and going from different from the ship there, and you guys last saw Cade at his shop in the kind of center square of town, which is inside of the keep, which has always been open. You know what I mean? The gate has always been up, but right now it is closed, and there are there's a line of people waiting outside of it, basically.
So I'm assuming his presence left this place.
David, the
Yes.
best part about being back here, just a brief aside, is I have all these old notes that I'm just reading through now from when we were here almost a year ago. Well, not a year ago, but 9 months.
Yeah, a while ago.
It's the Salty Lantern.
The Salty Lantern. Thank you. That's it.
Okay, so
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 this
Kate's
is
not
the
home.
loose. This is the loose layout of this place. Cade's place is in the interior of this section, which is walled. But these gates are always open, but they appear to be closed right now. And you can tell that because there's a bunch of people who are waiting outside the gatehouse, and you guys are approaching from here.
Hey, last time I was here, I could only speak Draconic.
Look at you now.
Hey, so do we want to? Simone, you think your merchant ties can get us in there?
Oh yeah, not a problem, fool. Don't know
All
me,
right.
not a problem.
Excellent. We'll follow
But,
you in then.
Well, hold on. We should before we go in, we should talk about our backstory and our plan and all that. I don't think we should just waltz in there,
Why not?
Well, okay, so I mean, if one of the guards asks you where you came from, are you going to say the deep dark underbelow with a army of kobolds behind you? Is that what you're going to say? Think, man.
He does it so well.
I guess I know the guy. I say no. We gotta talk about it. Let's say we're traveling. Didn't you go? What's your little chapel? What's the name of that town?
A little.
Yeah.
Othirus. You know what?
Okay.
What?
Why don't-
Huge.
yeah. No. Okay. So you've been there before. So why don't we just say we've been traveling north from Othirus, and we're on our way to Karak for some business. And when we passed through Irigan, we heard the commotion, but we didn't see anything.
And the business is, well, if we all came from Othirus, you
I
know.
don't know. That's your.
I have a good reason for being from Othirus, but what business do we have in
Yeah.
Karak?
What do they do there? Don't they
We don't
sell
do
like
anything in Karak.
candles?
You're the merchant.
Oh yeah, yeah. I'm a big merchant, but I'm saying, what does Othirus? What is their market? And then I can make a story. What do you guys do in the little town?
How far back do I have to go in my notes?
It's
Yeah,
your
scroll up.
hometown, Joe.
We mostly train and fight, and
Okay, so you need like swords or what? You need
make specialty
wooden
swords.
swords, metal swords. Come on, keep up. I'm gonna like start snapping in your face.
man, I don't remember what we trade.
Then make it up.
Yeah. Do you need?
Yeah, we
What's something special do you guys need? Like, what? I can have like blessed water in one of my ships. That's a scam, right? That's like we could. Don't you guys like sell snake oil there?
Yeah, we definitely do. We definitely do some version of holy water. We send people out to go train other people every now and then.
Yeah. Okay, we got a ship in a holy water.
Great.
Yeah, it hasn't been blessed yet.
With Iomede's blessing. No.
It's just water.
I bless it. I bless it when we get there.
It's this compound called H2O. Nobody's heard of it. Full of electrolytes.
Put a little salt in there. It's great.
Okay. I feel like we're missing something. We're gonna go in here. We need to go to his Cade's area to talk to him. So okay, so when we get to Cade, who's gonna tell him the bad news? Well, I feel like, I can be the traitor, but that's where you guys come in.
I'll tell him the bad news.
But also the good news. Remember, Galvast brought up the good news.
No, man. We're doing good cop, bad cop. I'm gonna tell him the bad news. You tell him the good news. Remember, this is your idea.
All right, that sounds great. And then, we can hop on a merchant ship and go to Karak. Is that our current plan? Or is there any business here that anybody needs to do?
I don't have.
Looks like,
Yeah.
when we were here last, Rowan, I remember that there's like a chamber of druids here. Do you know anything about that? Maybe they could help us.
Well, that was in Karak.
Oh, I was in Karak? Okay.
I mean, if we head to Karak, we could maybe seek them out.
All right, cool. And so I remember last time we were here, though, didn't Lord Escobar die? Right? Maybe we shouldn't bring him up. Maybe they're still in like mourning. That we could say, our dear departed Mr. Escobar.
Maybe that's why the gates are locked.
That's probably a good idea.
All right. Well, the gates are usually open, but so I'm ready. Let's go to the gates then.
The party makes its way over to the gatehouse, and there is probably like, I don't know, 2 or 3 dozen people just kind of like piled up outside of it. There are a number of guards up by the gatehouse who are like very carefully inspecting the like products in off of one of the carts. And you can tell that that cart is like being led by a like lizard folk, and and so it's like kind of like holding up the rest of this line here. But the decorum thing to do would be to like wait through this line. You guys doing that, or are you guys elbowing your way to the front?
I feel like Simone would be like holding his badge up like he's royalty. I had with my personal baggage there, puto.
Oh man, I love that. I gotta sneeze. Ugh. Yeah. So Simone pushes past people. People, hey, what's the big deal? And like, what's going on here? And as you guys are all like pushing, but you're all like these pretty grizzled, heavily armed, like adventuring party too, and these are by and large like travelers and caravan masters and things, and so like they're all like not happy about it. They all like look really mad at you, and they kind of like look you guys all up and down. They're like, yeah, all right, and so you guys kind of like push your way to the front. And how does like Simone approach these guards at this gatehouse?
Are all of the guards also wearing the Merchant Guild sigil?
Most of them are, but there are a couple of them that have the like individual family crest of Lord of House Estebar.
I feel like Simone, like the closest guard, like Simone would like take his backpack off and like hand it over. He's essentially like treating these guards like they're his personal assistants at this point. Like, oh yes, finally, here's the help. Bellboy, please, kind of thing. So he like takes his bag off and he says, "Official guild business, fool. Hold this. God, my back is killing me."
That's probably a DC 23 diplomacy check, I think, out of Simone.
Yeah. Oh, I want him to be cut down. Okay. Oh my God, his diplomacy is huge.
Yeah, it's nuts. Yeah, abso-fucking-lutely. So, Simone like flashes his badge and just like, it's like what they say, like if you act like you're rich, people will think you're rich, kind of thing. Like that's very much the energy that Simone is putting forward here. And like you're saying, he's acting like these guards are his personal assistant. The guards are like kind of like unsure about what's going on, but their kind of default is to like go with the vibe, and the vibe here is Simone like being super pushy and being like, all right, like chop chop, let's go. And so
like, okay, you got it.
You see the one of them like turn and be like, are you turn and be like, yeah, there's the person in charge is like looking at the like inspecting the goods here, like sees the kind of like exchange going on, like raises an eyebrow, turns and looks. The guards kind of like look at her confused, like, well, open the fucking gatehouse. And these guys like turns around. He's like got the backpack. He like looks at Simone with the backpack and just kind of like holds it back out to him, like, would you? Are you?
No, you're with me now. My back is killing me. I already said that. And he's gonna turn to another one, and he's gonna like hustle, like do the, like you get like hustled for smokes. He's gonna be like, "Come, my pipe is out of tobacco. Come on, fill this up."
And he just like begrudgingly like reaches to a little pouch of tobacco that he's got on his own belt, and just like puts a little bit in it, puts it out there. But then exactly in turn, as soon as he's done like tamping and packing, he like holds his hand palm up in classic looking for a tip gesture, right?
Oh my God. Yeah, Simone would point at Kaithar and be like, "That guy's got the tip, man. Get out of my way." I don't carry my coins. You think I carry my own coins?
When Simone points to Kaithar, what's Kaithar doing? Sitting quietly with his mic muted?
Yeah, that too. Yeah. Kaithar's still caked in mud because Kaithar doesn't take baths.
Right.
With his hammer out.
Uh-huh.
Just mean mugging. And not saying anything, he's just like staring death, so I don't know if this is like gonna be intimidation.
I mean, you're not like trying to get anything out of him necessarily. I think that you just like look intimidating enough that he just like doesn't really approach you, and he just kind of like drops his hand and like kind of mumbles quietly to himself like, fucking. And eventually somebody goes and throws open the gatehouse, lets you to let you guys in, and meanwhile there's still like they're getting ridiculous. Like you're watching them like pull the wheels off of this fucking wagon, and they're like prying up. They're basically like disassembling this entire fucking wagon. Like all these goods are spread out as you like walk through the gatehouse into this plaza, which is just full of cops. You know what I mean? Just soldiers and guards fucking everywhere. Some of them are drunk. A lot of them aren't. You know, everybody is armed to the teeth. There is a lot of kind of like moving around and like, you know, shipments and crates of things being like moved back and forth into the like big stone fortress warehouse thing out on the water. You know, and you guys are kind of like standing in this courtyard where there's like this apothecary shop, and there's like a sailor's bar there, and then, you know, a couple of other relatively unimposing shopkeepers, one of which is Cade's.
All right, we're here to see Cade, right? Let's not waste time. Right, Reed?
Yeah. And I knock on the door. It's a door, I assume.
There is a very distinct feature about Cade's place. Is very unassuming. There's Cade's mark kind of like scratched into the wall. And then there's also a bell which comes out, and there's a sign in script that you can always read that says, "Please ring bell for service."
I remember that note now. The no matter what language it's in, you can always read it.
Right, you can always read it.
Yeah.
And as you know, ding ding ding, ring the bell, you wait for a moment, and you hear the telltale like sound of like stone settling on stone, something really heavy like fucking landing, that like screeching and like scraping sounds of stuff like moving into place, which has always been a feature of this place, but now you guys are imagining that has something to do with the like whisking nature of this place, and as always, you know, there's almost never a figure that comes to the door. The door always just unlatches and creaks open, revealing the like now familiar entryway of Cade's place, which has like a bunch of like bookshelves lining all the walls and a couple of like glass display cases like running down the middle of it, cauldrons that are always like simmering and you know, smoking with like purple and lavender fucking you know, colored smoke, but it like, you know, opens up into Cade's place. As you guys file in, you take up your familiar positions at the table. Unfortunately, this is not a session that I have Matt on standby for, so you guys are going to have to deal with me as Cade for the first time.
Perfect.
I will do my best here to do the man justice. As a reminder, this is like a kind of like multi-storied building. You know what? I think I can't remember if that was back in Tabletop Sim or if I moved that into the software, but I did have an interior battle map of the Cade's Tower. I do. So there's a couple of doors in the back, which you guys know like lead into this like treasure trove of magical items that Cade kind of like armed you with to begin. But he almost always descends from this spiral staircase, you know, going up into taller levels. And so Cade just like descends these stairs and you know, kind of addresses all of you, and with his kind of like traditional like booming deep voice, you know, he just like opens with, "Where have you all been? It has been weeks. I have been searching high and low for you. It's like you completely disappeared."
Well, you didn't search low enough.
"I searched the deepest dwarven mines. The only place I didn't search are the bowels of the Amber Summit."
No, I didn't hear about that place on the map. We were a little bit lower than that.
Yeah. We were so below, some might even call it great.
We were in the Great Below.
The Great Below.
"How on earth you?" He like starts rubbing his temples. He's like, "I sent you to the ruins near the seaside, and you ended up in the Great Below. How does one even manage to mess something up that badly?
Well, it would have been great if you gives us a heads up what's there. Like the entrance to the Great Below?
Well, there are entrances to the Great Below in all sorts of different places. Are you expect me to warn you about every fey gatehouse and extra planar dimensional rift and ley line you might encounter along the way?
Some of us tried to convince the others that it would be a bad idea to go to the Great Below instead of fighting the 10 drow that were out there.
It's a terrible idea to go to the Great Below!
Well,
Well, you're telling us this now.
Well, we went in there, and along the way we might have stumbled upon an ancient god. Older than the Great Below in Valmina itself. And we also might have woken him up.
We're on good terms, though.
And then I'm gonna bump Galfast. Good cop.
Yeah, we left on good terms. Yeah, we made friends along the way, but now we're back. Is the good news? Was what I was gonna say.
And I consulted Iomade, and she really just said I should go talk to the High Priest. So we're wondering if you could help us out with getting there faster.
He's like, oh, hold on. He's like, you mentioned, how would you even know what an ancient god was, and how would you walk away from that? You see how things are not adding up from my perspective?
I've got memories I could show you if you just want to do the thing.
And he
surely you could do that.
He disappears. Like, I have to grab something, and he just goes and disappears back up the steps.
Wait. Hythor, the helmet.
Yeah, get the. And I don't know if it helps, but we know the name of who we met down there. Would that be helpful?
Yeah, of course that would be helpful.
Okay, do you got a quill and paper on you? So it's Zarak Thun. I don't know. Have you heard of him? That's Zarakthun. Like I said, we ended on good terms, so it's not that I wouldn't. Don't get hung up on it.
And he just shakes his head. He's like, no, you must be Zartok. Is that who? Because no, you must have misspoke. That's not possible.
Zarak Thun. That's the guy.
To Rami is perhaps who you mean. This is.
Does it start with a Z?
We could spell it for you again.
Actually, you know what? On second thought, yeah, who was that other guy? Maybe it was him. I don't remember now.
You somebody eventually writes it down because he's refusing to believe that
he doesn't want to acknowledge.
Yeah, he's trying to think of any other fucking name or some way you guys could be mistaken. And the more that he asks you questions, clarifying questions, the more he comes to realize he's you. And he turns to Godfast. He's like, you left on good terms. You didn't give him what he wants, did he? Did you?
I mean, he just ripped through our memories.
Well, okay, so it was a good thought, but okay, you're gonna appreciate how good of a plan this was, right? So we were stuck down there in the deep below in a temple, and things went real bad, and we had this bad feeling, and we were being talked to by him. So then I remembered, or maybe it was somebody else. I think it was Kythar that had mentioned this, to put on the helmet because that takes you back in time, right? So Reed put the helmet on.
It lets you see back in time.
Yeah, and then they had a conversation. It was weird. Okay, so this guy, he could see us, which was new. And that was the first red flag. But
And you couldn't
Yeah.
see anything else because I had the helmet on.
yeah, and usually nobody could talk to you, right? Because you're seeing back in time.
Yeah,
So
yeah,
But okay, like I said, it was good terms, and yeah. So Reed ended up talking to him.
Well, talking isn't under. No.
So if anybody is at fault,
he-
it's Reed, is what I would
he-
say at the end of the day.
Yes.
So I put the helmet on to try and save my friends, and they're all here.
Wasn't there
So-
one more with you?
What was there?
Yeah, the gentleman with the gun.
Yeah, where's the professor? I'm gonna look around surprised, as if for the first time.
So he kind of like just ripped through my memories involuntarily. I couldn't do anything about it. And then they had to rip the helmet off of me. I mean, my head is my flesh is still in it. And we're not sure what's going to happen if we put it on either. We thought you could take a look at it because you're good at uncursing things like you did.
I already uncursed it. I already
You might
did
have
that.
to. You might have to do it.
It might have a curse again. Is the one thing.
We don't know if it's got a curse, a tracker. So
How have you been, Cade?
Zarok Thune's awake, and it's a beautiful sunny day. It's 75.
I'm gonna look at Reed as he talks, give him like a discreet thumbs up. Like this is the plan, and I think we're doing pretty well. I rolled I probably rolled a nat one on my diplomacy, but you always think you do well.
You always think you do well. Yeah, okay. Cade stares dumbfounded at you guys. And this guy who's been all attitude, just like the one with the answers has been asking you guys questions, right? And so you guys get to the end of all of this. And remind me, I have actually forgotten. What all have you guys mentioned to Cade? Just the god so far? Is that all we've talked about?
You're talking about this specific.
Like right
instance?
now, yeah, in this conversation.
Yeah, we mentioned the god. We mentioned we talked to him using the helmet.
Right.
Yeah, Reed mentioned that he went through his memories, so it's more than just a high and by. I've alluded to that we made friends on the way out, but I haven't said that. Oh, by the way, there's an army.
Cool. Yeah, so he's like, I will take some time with the helmet if you are unsure of its properties. And he just kind of like shakes his head. He's like, but you all also are supposed to. He says, while you've been gone, I've found the location of the next piece of the armor, and God, it just doesn't seem important anymore.
Do we not care about the portal anymore?
The portal was. He says, portal. The portal was a means to get to the place that they were hiding the armor at, but over the last few weeks, I've been monitoring the movements, and the dragons have all left their hordes and are now collecting themselves, and I've been really worried that they've been joining in force because of the damage that you all did when you faced Saltwing, and now they know that you are a real threat and are finding strength in numbers. So likely where there is one dragon, there is now more than one dragon. So
Can you give us like a ballpark?
he's like, yeah, well, I've seen 2.
That's not so bad.
Well, not so bad. You remember how bad one was? Need I quote, I've made a terrible mistake, and then our friend went...
No, he wasn't there.
Fuck.
Yeah, no. Was it a big deal? I don't know.
Well, let's just say the guy that you're placing. Did not.
Okay,
Well,
so
he must have sucked.
His
Okay.
PC definitely does.
Nice.
our pitch is you get us to Otheris, where I can consult my temple, my goddess.
Well, Theorist, that's the wrong way.
The wrong way from where?
From the next piece of the armor. They're the Dragon Slayers, so that you can fucking kill them and shit.
Okay, where's the next piece of the armor?
This is what I was trying to fucking send you earlier.
Wait. So, just so I understand, so the portal south of Port Saucus is still where the armor is,
Yes!
and now you're saying it's undefended because the dragons have left it where. Where does the portal take us?
He says the portal used to take you from the ruins of Isolde, where you fought the Saltwing, to the place that is south of Port Saucus. They used to be connected to each other. I did not think it was possible to destroy the portal. You all somehow managed to do that to one of them. You also tell me that it is possible because when you were there was undead, which was coming out of the portal, which means that they had somehow managed to harvest or change the magic of it somehow to connect it to somewhere else entirely. So I don't know where the portal goes now because they appear to be able to change where the portal goes. But I'm saying that there is probably more than one dragon there now.
Wherever the portal goes, there's more than one dragon.
Or guarding the portal itself.
So we need some way of luring the dragons out. is what it-
Cool.
And he says, I don't... He says... And he, like, takes a deep breath. And you guys can see that... that there is, like, something that he is considering, right? Like, he's holding back something. And you can see him, like, grappling with it. But eventually he ends up swallowing it and, you know, with kind of a deep sigh says, okay, look.
No, hang on. If we're gonna do this, there's something brewing in your mind there. You might as well put all the cards on the table, so we know what we're up against here.
We've been
And
totally
I'll
honest.
diplomacy that if you want me to.
Yeah.
Have a higher diplomacy,
No,
but
yeah, I will take it to phone. Don't roll it yet, please. Give me just a second here.
Okay.
Yeah, it's probably at least as hard as convincing the dragon shamans, which I think I put at a DC 30 diplomacy. So we'll do that.
Then I'm gonna keep higher.
Okay, great.
And burn a hero point.
Burn that point.
Did that give you 2?
Give me 2.
Okay.
On the nose. 30. Cade, like, draws up a chair, and for the first time since you guys have been, like, working with him, like, sits at the table with the rest of you guys. He, like, pulls his sleeves back on his robes, and, you know, out of it, you know, produces, like, a long wooden pipe, which is, like, already lit. And he, you know, takes a long draw off the pipe and, you know, kind of, like, looks up at all of you guys when he says, everybody knows that wizards are old. He says, some of us are older than others. And he kind of, like, looks at the rest of you guys and he's like, I am, and he says, and I am the oldest that I know. What is history for a lot of people, beings like you, are things that I lived. He takes a deep breath. He looks up at you, and says, "The pieces I have sent you off to go collect," he says, "are items of my own creation." He says, "I made them myself, and they were as a Hail Mary, as the last chance in the battle of the First Age for everyone who wasn't an elf or a dragon to survive. There was a brave champion who wielded them and defeated or nearly defeated Alzaroth. But
Who was that champion?
He says, a brave, long dead man. And he just with this kind of he's a footnote. He's he was he was a great champion, but he he's
Effectively just a guy.
He's effectively just a guy, right? The important thing, he's kind of alluding to anybody with any amount of skill, if properly wielding all of this stuff would be, nearly invincible, right? From this particular threat. And he says, and for it, I am, I can never live out openly because of the threats that he says these beacons and these dragons that are after you, have been after me since before each of your great grandparents were born. And he says, and my presence anywhere would be enough to doom that place to certain destruction. He says, so I am forced to act through agents. And he says, he goes back and mentions the original Lord Orldebrand that sent you guys on this quest. His grandfather was the one who got this originally from a kobold war, way back in the day, and took it from Nox originally, and that's why it was on his fucking wall. And there's been bad blood between Nox and the people of that area, and he talks about him because he was Orldebrandt's grandfather was one of the OG adventurers that he sent out to do exactly what you guys are fucking doing right now, right? And so you guys are picking up where he left off. He's I can't leave my fucking tower because as soon as these guys catch wind that I'm somewhere, even if I leave, they'll burn down the city looking for me. So I have these super powerful fucking enemies that I gotta fucking deal with, which is why I'm sending you guys out to do stuff. But he's also but now he's leveling with you. He's but now you guys are pretty much also in that same boat. I think that you guys are gonna be a liability pretty much wherever you go. That's what I'm getting at, is that the dragons aren't willing to be separated anymore, that they know that they need to pool and muster their strength to resist the likes of you. And that they will no longer be operating alone because you guys have bested one of them while they've been operating alone. He says, but I know where you need to go. He says, I can get you, fairly close to it again. He's if you insist on going to Othyris, he says, you can try and catch a ship out from Edgetown. He says, but I remind you, in case of dragon attack, a ship is the absolute fucking worst place to be. He says, I have a tower here.
You know where else is bad, fool? To be in a fucking wagon. I'm an elbow weed.
You're muted.
I'm sorry. And what of Zarok Thune? Why is that name?
Yeah. Does that ring a bell to you or not? It didn't ring a bell to me, is why I bring that up.
And he just kind of like shakes his head. He says, "If," he says, "then I." He says, "If the portal has taught me anything, it's that your group is capable of anything." He says, "But Zarok Thune is." So you know how they call the world Valmina? You know, that's the name of the place that we live.
Yeah, I've heard of that.
I didn't go to school, so no.
He says,
Can't read.
he says, Zarok Thune is like an evil Valmina. He has enough energy to create an entire plane of existence. He says, Valmina and the spirit tree created, from that tree came the rest of everything in this realm. He says, Zarok Thune is capable of doing that and creating a world of his own shaping.
It can't really be that bad.
You're telling me he's a bad guy?
And that's bad because he can do that on a whim, or, he can. What about Valmina herself? Can they help us out here?
And he says, if a great
we
enough threat emerges, perhaps.
So how do we wake her up?
He says, but Valmina was willing to let the dragons destroy everyone else without intervening. In the Battle of the First Age. So, I mean, it had to be really fucking bad.
Oh, so I mean, at least we have that floor, right? If she doesn't show up, we haven't ruined everything. If she does show up, we have ruined everything, and she's there to bail us out. Kind of seems like it's like an insurance policy, is what we call that.
I think if we ruin everything that bad, I think we're gonna be long dead before she. Yeah.
So we won't care. Yeah.
He's like,
So-
honestly, if it came to that, and somehow she managed to come out on top, she'd probably restart the world and kill everything on it.
She could do that this whole time.
So
yeah.
need to solve this. We need to solve this without Valmina.
Well, I mean, if you want to survive, I mean, you could run to a different plane, I guess, and live the rest of your life there.
We could just start with the small problems, like the dragons. Start small, work our way up.
Yeah.
He's like, wait, well, I know where you can find a couple of dragons.
Could you send note somehow to the high priest of the temple?
And he like winks and snaps his fingers. He's like, that I can do for you.
Just let him know who's awake now. Thank you.
Yes. I prefer if you did attach our name to it. Don't say,
They're gonna find out it was me eventually anyway. You could put my name on it.
Yeah, put his name on it. Reed woke up.
But sure.
I mean, we haven't even mentioned the kobolds yet.
Oh
Shit.
What about the kobolds?
We ran into some on the road.
How many is some?
An army?
Okay. Reed. Like,
Really nice though.
yeah, that's what I've been trying to say. Thank you.
The kobolds were really nice? What do you mean the kobolds were really nice?
We were on good terms. Isn't that right, Reed?
Yeah, we became such good
Thank you.
friends. They
Okay,
followed us
and
up
then
here.
what I was also gonna say is...
Wait, they followed you up from the great below?
Are you fucking kidding me?
Reed's fucking it up for everybody.
I'm a paladin, man.
I know. The first 3 letters are POW. Be a POW.
I know. It's one of those situations where Reed's like turning and Galfast's like, all right, we're not going to break. We're going to stick together. Doesn't matter how hard they sweat us. And Reed's like, yeah, I'm here. And as soon as they walk in, like they open the door, Reed just blurts out, we came from the great below!
Reed is role-playing as SpongeBob.
Oh, man. Okay, so what? They followed you up? What?
Okay. Look, I'll take there's the different magnitude here, right? Old God, okay, on one hand, some kobolds on the other. It's not a big deal, is what I'm trying to say.
Well, compared to an ancient god, the kobolds are less of a big deal. But if we're talking about an army of kobolds, that's still a fair-sized deal. There's still some deal to deal with there.
My heart goes out to the people of Irrigate. Their sacrifices are noble.
He's like, well, yeah, but that was because Nox leveled the city because you guys pissed him off in the first place.
Not me.
That was the first time.
These
the city got destroyed.
What do you mean the first time? They just rebuilt the city.
They did?
That's what we heard on our way over here as people were fleeing the scene.
As people were fleeing the city? What? You unleashed a kobold army on here? You destroyed the same town twice?
They are so brave, is what I'm trying to say. Really, from the ashes, right?
They're like fetuses. They're reborn. They're reborn.
Irrigate is a real diamond in the rough.
They are so brave.
Kate throws his fucking hands up in just complete and total exasperation. And he's like, how the fuck do you go from, hey, go here and get this thing to, hey, we woke up a god and destroyed a city with an army of kobolds? How do you do that? Answer me. How? How does that happen?
If I may, you said our group is capable of anything based on what we've done. This is just the method to the madness, or the madness to the method.
Yeah. We killed one dragon, which is on the good side, right?
Yeah. Wake up a god, unleash a kobold army.
Neutral at least.
Step 3, profit.
He's like, well, fuck me and my goddamn quest, because what the fuck is it gonna do us any good to not have dragons if there's kobolds and they're still destroying things and and he just he just points arbitrarily at one of you guys. I'm literally gonna roll a dice here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. He turns Kythar into a chicken. Just points at Kythar, turns into a chicken. Doesn't matter. It was random. He's very frustrated. It's not the first time he's done this to one of you guys before. But
suddenly everything smells better.
Kythar is running around with, like, his head is cut off.
Yeah, he's just like making a bunch of. He with another flick of his wrist, he casts the silence spell on you. So you're running around like your head is cut off, but you're not actually making any noise, and you can't like hear any of the other conversation going on around you. You're in your own like dome of quietness that is like following you around as you fucking. Because that's the number of the dice that rolled on, my guy. I'm very sorry about it. Kate is not having a good day. Okay, so as Kate like basically catches his breath, he he stops. He like turns and looks at you, and he's like, "Illigan is not very far from Edgetown, and that's where we are now. That's where you guys came into my tower." Right? And he glances over at the door And he's like, right. And he like kind of like turns back, and he's like, do you have you? They're gonna.
There's thousands of them. Fuck.
We don't know that. We don't know that.
I'm honestly baffled as Cade right now. Like, I know that as the DM, like, I should have known that this moment was coming, but like, I'm now sitting as guy was really leaning on letting Matt react like authentically in a lot of these places, and now I have to do like calculated decisions here.
We could fully redo this next week. It is 9:23. If you think that would be better.
Who over?
I don't know about a fully
Because
redo.
Cade hasn't reacted fully.
I don't know about a fully redo, but I think that ending the session a little bit early while you guys are physically in Cade's presence might be good to get Matt in at the start of the next session. So
That'd be hilarious.
I actually do like
Yeah,
that
oh my
idea. So we'll like, you know, we can't undo it, right? Like, you can't withhold something that you told me and not tell Matt, kind of thing. But like, we'll kind of like roll back the clock a little bit and get this kind of like boiled through and hard boiled out with him, assuming he's available. Although on that note, you know, there was a chance that we were going to take next week off of D&D to do like a game day to pick up other people. But maybe we do a hybrid. Maybe if I can pin Matt down for, you know, half an hour to get through this interaction, maybe we do like this scene with him and then like break and do something else.
That's a great idea.
Yeah, I'm cool with that.
Yeah, that
Cool.
sounds good.
All right, sweet. Then I will touch base with him and double check his availability. Otherwise, great session, guys. Welcome back to the land above. Welcome back to familiar places. I
Sorry,
am
Cade.
truly astounded by your guys' ability to cause, like I have not had to think of negative plot points, right? Like, I don't have to think of bad things to happen to the world. You guys are taking care of all of that for me. So, you know.
Yeah.
We are the chaos.
Hashtag do it for the plot.
Hashtag do it for the... That is the fucking truth. You guys are definitely
Dude,
doing it for the plot.
we are that SpongeBob meme of SpongeBob looking for wee woo. He's
Wee
looking-
woo! Wee woo!
That's my request for the name of the episode. David, do it for the plot.
Do it for the plot. I think. I already named this episode, but next episode, I think do it for the plot would be a good one. Well, cool, guys. As always, thanks for playing. You know, we'll plan on like I said, a short scene next week, and then, you know, maybe doing a little bit of something else. Sweet. Well, cool. Then this has been a lot of fun, guys. I will catch you all next week. We'll play a little bit more then.
Cool.
Cool.
Thanks, man.
Later, guys. Yeah, thanks.
Bye.
Good night.
Night. Xander Fell. Thanks for being here. Yeah, this is my group. They're very chaotic. You know, you caught us right at the end of the session. I traditionally have another person who is not a player. He didn't want to learn the rules of D&D or Pathfinder in this case, but he is got a background in like theater and like script writing, and he's very like theatrical. And so I have him run a major NPC in my world, the like wizard who gives all the plot points. And so next week, you know, I'm hoping to catch him so that he can kind of fill in for the party here. But yeah, welcome in. Next week will be kind of a short sesh. We do Wednesdays at like 7-ish Pacific Standard Time. You know, we'll probably go for hour next week, and then the week after that should be a like full game week. But thanks for being here, Xanderfell. We will maybe raid somebody, I guess. Let's see if people are online. Goofy, he's not interested. Seems really upset. Yeah, I mean, it's ticky tacky. You know what I mean? Like the rules of, especially Pathfinder. Very very crunchy granola, right? And it's just not everybody's cup of tea to like, okay, what skill is that? Okay, how do I find that modifier? Okay, what size dice do I roll? You know, and it just like doesn't really do it for him. He's like a story guy, and so letting him be an NPC helps him like help shape the story, without like him needing to know all the spells that a powerful wizard would know and like knowing what each of those spells do, right? This way he can come in. He like asks me. He's like, "Hey man, like what do these guys need to know?" I'm a story guy too. Yeah, TTRPG games. Yeah, and so yeah, he's a script writer, and so he does a lot more like sci-fi stuff. I think it's the last script I read of his. Great stuff, very cool. Really love his mind, and he's one of those like very creative partners, supportive partners who will like encourage you and throw ideas out there without like getting super attached or wanting to like take over in any kind of way. So I really love and respect him for that. He's a very close friend of mine, which is the other reason why this works out so well. So yeah, I've been doing TTRPGs for 3 or 4 years now. Yeah. Mostly Pathfinder, a little bit of D&D 5e, but I tend to like the Pathfinder system a little bit better. Proficiencies are not my thing, but I do use advantage from that system. So it's all homebrew. It's all imagine. That's why I tell the guys all the time. Like it's an imagination game. Like we can just homebrew it as we go, and as long as it's fun, that's all that's important. So. I've been playing 20 plus years, 60 plus playing. Wow, good for you. That's awesome. Yeah, I'm a dude in his 30s who's wanted to play since he was a teenager, but there was still a lot of a stigma on it, 10, 15, 20 years ago. And so, like I could never get anybody to, fellow high school students or middle school students to like play Imagination with me, basically. It like wasn't cool. So, it's been nice. Ironically, I played with the same friends I had in high school. Like, these guys are all people I've known for that long. So we could have been playing this whole time, but better late than never, right? Out of it for 5 years now. Yeah, that's a while. I run games, so I'm never really out of it. If I can always find players. But, as far as being able to play, it hasn't been quite 5 years, but it's been a year or two since I've been a regular player for sure. Yeah, honestly, I play with my childhood friends, and that's the only way that I've been able to make it work. I specifically had another group that I was playing with for a while that was like some coworkers, some current coworkers, and some past coworkers from different jobs, and like combining, like everybody knew me, but they didn't all know each other. And it made it so that there was a lot more that we had to navigate as far as the game was concerned. So, like personality conflicts and just like the way people talk to each other. In some cases being passive aggressive, in some cases being aggressive aggressive. In some cases just like differences of opinion. So that's the best arrangements. Most of my games, which one's a personal game? Yeah, and that tends to be where people have the best experience, right, is with people that they know, who they already have chemistry with. I can't remember who, when I was getting into the hobby, I was fortunate enough to do so in the YouTube era where Matt Colville has a huge list of like informational videos about how to run games and what TTRPGs are about. So I got to learn a lot from there. But one of the things that they said was like, the most successful games are people who would be getting together on game night anyway, right? Like groups who play games together, whether it's this, whether it's diplomacy, whether it's civilization, whether it's, whatever it is. It's always groups that would play together anyway that make the best adventuring parties. Yeah, I am fortunate enough to run one in-person game. We run it once a month. We probably run it 8 months out of the year. 8 sessions a year is not a lot of D&D, but it's better than no D&D. And those, even though we only get to play them once a month, are so much more impactful for me. Being able to see everybody's faces, have there be side conversations, use physical props, not having to deal with like noise gates and things like that for how loud you're being, or worry about like copyrighted music. You know what I mean? You can just like play whatever music you want, and really engage. Stand-ups. One of my most impactful scenes was a drunken bear folk who was physically. I was physically slamming the table and yelling in the face of one of my players. And it was just this magical moment where I watched their eyes get wide as they were really surprised that I was doing that, in the same way that you might be if a drunk person were getting in your face, that you just can't effectively do over the virtual space. But I get to play every week on my virtual space, because it's a lot easier to just sit at your own computer than it is to meet up. So that's the trade-off, right? Yeah, 5 years is a long time. It's really popular now. So there's a lot of people out there who are interested, and you would think that it would be easier to find a group, but I guess it's not. Most impactful is when I decided to play fighter opposite of how I normally played fighter. DM was completely off guard. Yeah, and it's you gotta love stuff like that where we're essentially saying words at each other in a room, right? But that those words translate to memories that we still remember clearly after, like you're saying, 20 plus years, 60 campaigns. And 60 campaigns, wow, that is astounding. Were they all like prefab campaigns that were out of books, or were they homebrew adventures, or excuse me, what was the deal with that? Because we've been playing really the same campaign for 3 or 4 years. We have an inordinately large party. There are 6 players in the party now. So things do move slowly, but 60 campaigns, that's a lot of start to finish stories, All homebrew, never played a module pre-made. Wow, awesome. Your DM must I'm sure A, you guys met relatively often to play, and B, your DM must really have known what they were doing to move people along. I'd still, after years, find myself dragging a little bit in a campsite scene or during a travel montage, and needing to just move people along and get to where the action is. I still find myself dragging sometimes, and to get through 60 homebrew campaigns, that's got to be, but you guys may also be more active players. I have a lot of passive players who are just kind of there to witness the story and don't really want to drive it, and so it does result in things moving slower sometimes. For a while it was meetups, then we moved in together. Oh man, yeah, see, yeah, if I had, and that's the irony, I lived with a bunch of these guys that I played this session with myself. We lived together for a year, and then I had my own place for a couple of years before that, where we were all kids in town still. But yeah, being able to live together, play almost every day, that would really help crank up, like you're saying, how many campaigns you could get through. Yeah, I mean, your DM must be, and I guess I'm making the assumption that you're a player and not a DM. No idea how we did it. Okay, yeah, great. Yeah, because I mean, your DM must have been just excellent at improv, which is unfortunately one of my weaker points. It's part of why I do this, is to build those muscles and try to get better at that. I'm really good at the world building, coming up with plot points. You know what I mean? Weird little puzzles, or putting players in situations where they have to think to get themselves out of it. But when they do stuff I don't expect and I have to do dialogue in character, it does. I'm not quite as good at that, and so to be able to do that, play games that often, there's no way that he's just being able to sit around and plan stuff every day for your daily sessions. He had to have been improvising a bunch of that, and so good for him. That's an awesome skill that I do not naturally have, but am in the process of building. he improv'd everything. You need to find out what an NPC might do. Roll for it. Yeah, and that's awesome. And my like, I guess internal vision of the world is just not that good. Like it doesn't play out like a movie for me where I can just like step in and be that NPC in an improv state. I kind of have to like think about it and do a little bit more planning and like how would they act and what are they thinking, what's important to them. So yeah, but some of the most memorable moments are those just kind of like improv off the top of your head, scenes, because I have obviously had to do some of that stuff. And they make for some pretty memorable moments when it goes right, and even when it doesn't go 100% perfect. I feel like by and large, as long as the players are having fun, nobody's going to call you on it, and that's nice. You got to have a solid environment that way, Eventually had a major falling out. Yeah, major falling out. I don't know if it was a major falling out, but one of my groups also had a bit of a falling out. Excuse me. One of my groups also had a bit of a falling out, and that, it's hard to overcome. And then, yeah, there's lots of online groups, lots of people interested, but, then you kind of circle back to, like, maybe you get lucky and you have good chemistry with these people, but by and large, you're going to be, at least at the beginning, you're going to be strangers, and, getting to know each other as people on top of getting to know each other's characters, on top of getting to know the world that you're in. So, it can definitely be tricky. Kythar goes start pecking at Kate's feet. Well, all right, Xander. Well, it is a bit late here, so I am going to be wrapping it up. But, thanks for being here. Come catch us for, like I said, a short session next week, and we're here on Wednesdays. That's our normal game day, so if you've got time on a Wednesday and you want to see what's up, we're always here. Appreciate you very much for being here, hanging out, chatting. It's really nice to have some, like, decompression afterwards. The guys just, like, get off and leave, so it's nice to have a little chat. All right. Goodbye, my friend. Nice chatting. Take care. You as well.